Check, check. Today, we're in the company of a phenomenal success story. Dean Graziosi is a multimillionaire, New York Times best-selling author.
Talking about over 1 million books sold total.
We have a living legend, Dean Graziosi.
And we have a living legend when it comes to personal development.
You're talking about a man who's hundreds of millions of dollars in sales.
One of the biggest names in the history of this segment.
He's also reaching millions of people online and is live.
So much. You've impacted so many lives.
Literally booked this event because we wanted you to come speak at this event.
What I love about Dean is he's a genius at what he does, but the man, as corny as it sounds, he cares. It's easy to care verbally with your lips. He cares with the direction his feet move.
Hey guys, it's about 6 a.m. I'm on the top of Camelback Mountain. What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? Just got done running the mountain.
Well, it's entrepreneurs like Dean that are helping make the world a better place.
What's even more remarkable is Dean
started by
dysfunctional home. He lived in a trailer.
You're a powerful, big spirit.
Sometimes it takes someone seeing in you what you don't even see in yourself.
His ability to captivate and inspire people.
And so there's so much wisdom in there.
Incredible generosity and your enthusiasm.
Give it up for Dean. The man changed my life.
What's up, guys? Good to see everybody in Inner Circle. It is so awesome to, oh look, we got the applause. It is so awesome. If you're watching on YouTube right now and you see that there's some people on Zoom and I get to see a couple hundred people in front of me and behind me, know that we're rotating. We can't put you all on at one time, but we're rotating and everybody's gonna have a chance, and we're getting more technology so we can make it so everybody can be here. Hey everybody, what's up, Inner Circle? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me here on a Tuesday. I know sometimes I wish I could say every month, same time, same date, but life is crazy, especially this month. We're getting prepared for a big challenge that Tony and I are doing May 11th. You got to make sure you're there. It's going to be something pretty spectacular. We'll chat about it later. So those of you that are new to Inner Circle, welcome. This is a family. We've been together for years and years and years. And every month we come and cover one of three things, right? We cover mindset, marketing, or momentum. I think last month was marketing, I believe. This month, today, what I want to go over is something I do about every 6 months. I pick 5 or 6 things that are fundamental to me, fundamental to the successful people I meet in my life, fundamental to the habits we must have on a regular basis to keep moving forward, right? You've heard the analogy way too much that, you can't go to the gym, once a month or once every 3 months and work out really hard and hope you'll be in shape. Right? The strategies that allow us to be successful, to overcome the obstacles, to kill that self-doubt, to crush the imposter syndrome that we all have lingering inside of us, to don't allow ourselves to dim our own lights to match the people around us. To do that, we need certain core habits that keep us moving forward. Can we agree that we've all been excited about a course, a training, or something that can change your life, like stoked, like this is it. I'm fixing the relationship. I'm losing the weight. I'm making the money. I'm starting the company. I'm moving forward. And you're like juiced. You're in a good mood. You got the radio on in the car. You're singing. You're dancing. And then you don't even know when it happened. And 3 weeks or a month later, you're like, shit. I'm right back to where I was. What happened to that enthusiasm? What happened to the excitement? I see you laughing, Christina. I see you, Elaine and Tina. What's going on, everybody? Michelle. Good to see you guys. Diane, Alexander, Carolyn. I get to see all your amazing faces. And those of you at YouTube, so good to have you here. So what I like to do is when I look at what I did for the last 6 months of the Inner Circle, of going live every month and interactive, before I share today's topic and what I'm going to cover, I just want to say this. When I created Inner Circle, and I just want to remind you, some of you already know, it was going to be a thing that we did temporarily and then change the price and have it go way up and make it more exclusive. But we built such an amazing family, and it was affordable for most anyone. and we just never changed it. And I just want Inner Circle to always be that place you go to check back in, to be a reminder service. Sometimes I'm going to share stuff, maybe even today, guys, that's nothing more than a reminder service. But are you doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing to get to where you want to get? Are we? Are we doing 100% of it? It's like, what are we doing when no one's watching? Right? That's the thing. Like, we want to lose the weight, but are we kind of sitting around pounding the wrong food when no one's watching? It's okay, I'm not knocking you, but we can't complain that the weight's not coming off when no one's watching. We're really not eating right. You go to dinner with all your friends and you get a salad and a grilled piece of chicken. When you're alone, you devour a cake. Like, it's okay. If you want the cake, devour the cake. But don't be upset when you don't get the results. And it's the same thing here with success, personal development, mindset, marketing, momentum, going forward, going to another level. It's stuff we got to practice all the time. So some days, some weeks, or some months when you're here, I'm going to share stuff that hopefully you've never heard from anyone ever in your life. And I want it to be revolutionary and impactful, and you insert it in your life. Other times, I'm going to be a really inexpensive reminder service because it's the things that have truly impacted me in a big way. So this month, I went over 7 different shifts that have been adapted into my life that are consistent. If I do a podcast and people say, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? It's always one of these 7, always. When people say to me, Dean, how'd you get successful? There's got to be that one thing. There's never one thing. Everybody's looking for the magic button. I wish there was. If there was, we wouldn't even be doing all this shit. I just would send you all the magic button. I would get your address and just mail it to you. It would make my life so much easier and yours too. But I don't know if that button would really, it would give us the juice that we really want out of life. If I told you this joke before, I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize in advance, but I'm going to tell it to you. Did you ever hear the story of the gambler? He was an obsessive gambler his whole life. Did I ever tell you that? Okay, if I did, just pretend you didn't, especially because I could see your faces. Just be like, no, brand new, Dean. Never shared that once. But there's this obsessive gambler, and he gambled his whole life, and something happened. Got hit by a car, and he died. Wakes up, and he's in a casino. He's dressed to the nines. Has a pocket full of chips, and he goes over to the slot machine. He puts coins in, and every time he pulls it, he wins. He's like, oh my God, and he wins again. Every machine he goes to, he puts money in, he pulls the handle, money comes out. He goes to the next one, goes to the next one. Finally, he's getting tired, and he's lugging around this money, and it's getting later in the night, and he puts the coin in, it's no fun. He pulls the handle, money comes out. And he's like, oh my God, it's nothing but winning. And he walks up to someone he thought worked there, and he said, man, I never thought heaven would be like this. And the guy looked at him and said, who said you're in heaven? Right? Think about that. We all think we want the easy button. Do we really? Have you guys ever read a story of someone who hit lotto and they were magically happy, successful, abundant, gave back, contributed to the earth, worked on their emotional intelligence, and quadrupled their money? Anybody read one of those stories? Could you let me know if you do? If you could, send it to me. Just send it to our team. But have you ever read the story of someone hitting lotto and they fight with their family and they drink too much and they go off the deep end and they spend too much, and 4 years later, $500 million later, where are they? They're buying more lotto tickets because the money's gone. Right? Sometimes we're looking for the easy button, and what we really need to realize is the opportunity for our next level is in front of us with tiny little shifts. So today, I got with my team and I said, what are the 7 shifts I talk about the most that really define me, define my success, and define what I believe in the most? That's what we have today. You guys ready for 7 shifts? Some of it you might have heard. 2 millimeter. Roshan, if I said your name right, absolutely. That's one of the things we're going to talk about today. So shift number 1, define, and if you guys want to write these in the chat, that would be awesome, but define what success looks like for you. And I want to add one more word to the end of that. Define what success looks like to you now. Define what success looks like for you now. Okay? Thank you for writing this down, guys. I appreciate it. So think about that. We need ammunition. We need horsepower. We need rocket fuel. We need the ability to hit the gas and go. Just think about this. I use silly analogies. When it's time, when things are uncertain, when the world shifts, when COVID happens, when there's race relations at a time and point where it needs a shift and it needs to be fixed, and the news is nothing but negative and everybody's fighting and polarized, and is there any gray, or is it they just show the opposite? There's either people who hate masks or must wear masks. There's either people who are really racist or not racist at all. There's people that are really liberal or really conservative. Oh my God. Aren't most of us caring human beings that want the world to evolve and abolish the things that suck and unite and fix this together? Don't we, most of us, feel like that? But that's not what we see. We see these extremes. And I think how we fix it is we just keep becoming a better version of ourselves. We fix these things in our families. We fix these things in our neighborhoods, when our friends, and we don't settle for anything that's not what we agree upon. And when we do that, no one has to come fix this. No one's going to save us. We're saving their asses, if you want to know the truth. We fix it from the ground up. And that's how we have the opportunity to keep evolving and keep growing. I know I digress and I share that stuff, but I just know that a group of people like this, collectively, we can shift the world. And if we believe we can, we will. And if that's naive, then I'd rather be naive. But let's get back to this shift. Define what success looks like to you now. The reason I went on that rant is because the world, I believe, throws traps in our way, throws things in our way. I'm going to digress again. I'm sorry. I'm just in a space today. You're my Inner Circle family. I don't follow a plan. I don't follow slides. I speak from my heart. There was a great movie, and before movies were easy to watch, do you remember when you could first watch a movie on your laptop or your iPad, and you downloaded them from iTunes? Anybody remember that? Like when it wasn't so plentiful. I'm talking maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago. And I only had like 2 movies on my iPad. And every time I flew, I watched the same damn 2 or 3 movies, like obsessively. And there was a movie with Matt Damon called The Adjustment Bureau, right? Anybody, I don't know if you ever saw The Adjustment Bureau. I love it. You should check it out. It's a really great movie. I think I know it by heart because I used to fly a lot and I watch it so many times. Long story short, through the whole movie, it's kind of about God, kind of not. They call him the chairman. These people that are the Adjustment Bureau, they're kind of angels, but not. And we have the illusion of free will, and if things are going the wrong way, they'll come in and kind of adjust. They're the Adjustment Bureau. They'll adjust the way the world goes. Long story short, the reason I'm telling you this, and it fits into what I'm sharing now, is at the end of the movie, Matt Damon and the girl he fell in love with that were supposed to be torn apart, but they couldn't handle it. They loved each other so much. They were soulmates. And if they were going to stay together, they were going to erase their brains. It was going to be over. And finally, at the end, one of the actors is up on a roof of a building in New York City with him. They ran out of room. They couldn't go anyplace else. They thought their lives were over. And they stopped and said, the chairman says you guys can be together, because it is true love. We can't keep you away from each other. And the plan has changed. Sometimes plan changes. The chairman gives you your blessing. And Matt Damon looks at the actor, because the way he's talking, it's very like he's almost sharing it. And he looks at it and he goes, are you? And basically he's like, are you God? Are you the chairman? And he says, oh, no. But you've met him. We all have. And that part of the movie has stuck with me for a decade. Right? Whatever your beliefs are, we all have different beliefs. But I love that point of, I'm not him, but you've met him. We all have. And I've taught my kids that, because it's that same thing of, what are you doing when no one's watching, right? You might be super nice when people are around, but when you see a homeless person or you see somebody in trouble and no one's watching, like, oh, that's annoying, that's gross, they stink, or whatever it is. What if that was the day you had the chance to meet your maker? What if that was the day you met him or her, right? And I try to think about that, and it keeps me in shape when no one's watching. It keeps me realizing that I want to be congruent in all things that I do. I want to be congruent. If my wife picks up my phone and went through 15 minutes of text, I want her to go, my husband's exactly the man I thought he was. I want to make it so if my mic is on and this camera goes off and I thought you guys are done and my team says, hey, how'd your day with Inner Circle go? I would love for you guys to hear me go, shit, that was really nice. Not like, oh, these annoying people, they want so much from me, right? Like, I think about that shit. I really, excuse my language, but I think about that all the time. Like, congruency is this magic, and I didn't always have congruency. I'm not saying it like I was magic and always perfect and give me a blue ribbon for being so great. I wasn't. And even in previous relationships, I wasn't congruent as I needed to be. But I'm at a point where I'm obsessing on it. So the reason I'm sharing that is when you think through that congruency of who you are, who you want to be, if you met your maker, who would you be and what does success look like for you right this moment? Not what success looks like on social media for someone else you follow. That's their life. And I hope the success that they share with you and the happiness they share, I hope it's real. I don't look at people and go, oh, that's BS. They don't really love each other like that. I never do. When I look, I go, I hope it's real. But unfortunately, I know a lot of times it's not. I know my wife and I don't have an Instagram relationship. She's the love of my life. She's my best friend, right? I didn't always have that in my life, but I do now. So the reason I say that is when you know what success looks like for you right now in time, not compared to the perfect Instagram story, not to compare to who you thought or what you thought success was a decade ago, not by the belief that your parents may have given you, even though they're amazing and lovely and incredible and they gave you life, but their definition of success doesn't mean to be yours. The definition the world calls success doesn't need to be yours. The definition of the people you follow online doesn't need to be yours. What you need to do is define what success means to you right now in this time in history. Because we need these tools, guys. Things go sideways. People let us down. The deal doesn't work. The offer didn't convert. They didn't show up to your event. The book didn't sell. I don't know what it is. But things are going to go sideways. And those that know how to use the tools to get back up, brush off the dust, learn from it, and keep moving forward are the ones that succeed. The ones that succeed are the ones that don't give up. And how do you not give up? Have a compelling enough future that something drags you by the back of the shirt, gets you back on your feet, you dust it off, and you go. And when you fail again, you dust off, you get up, and you go. And some of us have to get up 10 different times. And I'm sorry, some of us might have to get up 30 times. Some people might only have 2. But what if there's a bigger plan? And by design, someone knows that some of us have to fail 30 times so we appreciate number 31, right? I call it success tax. But what if we have to take this journey? So if things are going to go sideways, if things are going to let you down, if you got to put the work in, then man, I need strength. I need desire to pull me through so nothing stops me. That's why I define success. Really simple for me. Success in my life right now is basically going to my why, but success for me is be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it with my children and my wife. Today at 3 o'clock, I promise you, I say this all the time if you know anything about me, at 3 o'clock today, I will be outside my kids' school picking them up. There's nothing that could stop me from being there. Nothing. I pick them up literally 95% of the time. I have since they were 2 years old. My daughter's 14. She's going to be in high school in 4 months. Anybody have someone who went through high school? I'm petrified. My daughter's been in a tiny little Christian school with 30 kids in her class, and 22 of them are girls. And now she wants to go. She said, Dad, I don't want to go to Christian school anymore. I love it. I'm going to continue my beliefs and my faith, but I want to go to public school. She's going from that tiny little school to the biggest public school in our area. She'll have like 400 kids in her class. I am dying. That's 4 months away. Anyway, yes, thanks. Christina, please say prayers for her father. Please say prayers for her first boyfriend, too. So, anyway, I digress. But I know what's important to me. It's running out. My daughter's going in high school. My son's going into 7th grade. My little one, thank goodness, I got a lot of time with that one. But I want to do that. That's success to me. Having the ability to pick up my kids from school, come home, do a little homework. I'll work a little bit more while they do their homework and get their stuff going. And tonight at 5 o'clock, I'll be bringing my daughter to her doubleheader softball game. I will watch one game, and I'll pick my son up, drive him to practice, drive all the way an hour away to get my daughter. I'll do all that commuting tonight. Do you know why I do that? Seems like a lot of wasted time. Do you know what amazing conversations you get to have with a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old when you're stuck in the car for an hour? My daughter's 14. Everybody warned me. Janelle, I see you, the thumbs up, and I see you, Ramona. Everybody warned me, 14, it can happen really quick. My daughter, I could say some wrong shit, excuse my language, and me and my daughter could barely have anything to talk to. She thinks I have no clue about anything. She's discovered a lot, and I'm just the old dumb guy, right? I know everything she's thinking, plus things she hasn't even learned to think about yet, right? And I see, as a dad, I'm 2 millimeters away from her just going, hey, Dad, I'm just going to listen to this music. Do you mind if I put my earbuds in? I'm a millimeter away from that, and I feel it every day. So it's success to me to be able to jump in the car. I'm going to spend an hour and a half in the car tonight with all the commute. But I'll have an hour and a half conversation with both my kids tonight. Stuff will come out. They'll share about their friends. She'll tell me about something. She'll tell me about a boy. Maybe not a boy, but she'll tell me stuff, okay? I'm going a little deep on this because can you tell how ingrained this is into me? Do you think I'm going to let anybody take that away from me? I didn't have that as a kid. I lived in a trailer park. My parents had to work a couple of jobs each just to make ends meet. I didn't see my mom till 9 o'clock at night because she had worked her second job and her second shift. She got home late. It's okay. My mom's an amazing woman for what she sacrificed for me and my sister. That's why I retired her by the time I was 27 years old. But I don't want that. And I will fight for it. I will die for it. I also am in the greatest relationship in my life with my wife, and I want that to stay. I want that intimacy, that passion, that connection, and I want to do the things that make that flourish, not let that go. I need time, right? So when you see my depth of passion, why do I say it? Because this is all about me? No, this is about you. I just want to tell you it's the little things that become the big things. So number one, I went way too long on number one, but it was important. Is define what success looks like to you right now in this time in history, and don't let anybody take that away from you. Number two, accept that productivity does not equal income. I kind of just covered that, but it's a true story. One of the biggest revelations in my life that I look back on, and I didn't realize how impactful it was, because you don't know it when you're in it, is I watched my dad work in a collision shop, working on cars, painting cars, fixing fenders, all that stuff, from early in the morning till late at night. He never had anything. I watched my mom cut hair, clean houses, and paint houses. Like if someone was moving out, she would do all the touch-up painting, right? My mom worked 3 jobs to hustle to make $90 a week. Now, I love my dad. He's an awesome guy at this phase of our lives. We get along amazing. He's 85, looks like he's 65. Literally so blessed that I still have my dad in my life. But my dad didn't do the right thing when they first divorced, and he didn't make much, but he didn't give my mom anything. So my mom hustled to have nothing. It's one of the reasons I work so hard. If you said to me, why are you so successful? You watch your mom, maybe some of you have been there, watch your mom kill herself for next to nothing. I remember being 14, 12 years old saying, bullshit, I am gonna make money. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not that smart. I don't have a college degree. I will retire my mom. I did it by the time I was 27. I've been sending my mom a check every week of her life since I've been 27 years old. I bought her a new house last year. I buy her a new car every 2 years, and she deserves every goddamn bit of it. And I'm really honored to be able to do that for her. And I retired my dad when I was 32. So I say that, one of the reasons I know why I work. Thank you. And I didn't say that for the pat on the back. I said it because watching my parents work hard did one really cool thing. I have an insane work ethic. I'll outwork anyone at this age. I love to work. You know what time I started this morning? No exaggeration. 4:05. I sent my first email actually to Tony at 4:05 this morning. That means I was up before that. And I worked until 6. I went in the gym from 6 till 7. I got my kids up at 7. I made them breakfast from 7 to 8. I took them to school, and I came down here to prepare for this today. Now, and I'll work. And when they go to bed tonight, I'll work late. I have a tenacious, insane work ethic. I love it. But working hard and being productive is 2 completely different things. So my message for number 2 is productivity is not the same as effort. Productivity means you're working on the things that actually move the needle in your life. Don't just work on the things you're comfortable with. Don't work on the things that are easy. Don't work on the things that are laydowns. Go after and do the things that make you a little uncomfortable. The marketing, the sales. Get out there teaching if you're in KBB. Lay out the course. Build it in Mastermind. I don't know where you're at, but the uncomfortable action of the things you don't love are the things that actually move the needle. If you love colors and building graphics, don't just go, I was going to do some selling. You know what? Let me go change the graphic. Let me go change my page. Maybe look at prettier. Maybe I should look at other colors. Maybe I should research. No, that's your subconscious going to what's comfortable. You need to work on the things that move the needle. Productivity is completely different than being busy. Know the difference. My poor parents were busy their whole lives, but they never did the things that moved the needle. And thank God I found a place in my life, and my sister became successful as well, where we can help our parents, because I don't know where they'd be without it, right? So know the difference. Productivity does not equal progress. Let's write that down, because that came out pretty cool. Productivity does not equal progress. Decide today what moves the needle and schedule it in your life and start working on it. Number 3. Thanks, Christina and Sue and Shiva and Kathy. Thank you for all the comments and sharing what I said. Number 3, small shifts that equal big results. I just want you to know, so many times in life if you're a part of KBB, if you gain new capabilities, if you start a new business, if you're part of Accelerated Success Formula or Mastermind.com, and we get something new, what we're always thinking is that if we start, we got to make a complete transformation. We got to make a 180 overnight. It's like why New Year's resolutions don't work. It's like, we got to shift everything. Oh my God, everything I've been doing has been absolutely horrible. My life is terrible right now. We got to shift, change. And you make so much change that what happens within a week, a month? You're right back where you were because you bit off more than you could chew. What is Kaizen, right? I've shared this with you before. I know I'm being a reminder service. How do you run a 1,000-mile race? One step at a time, right? Think about the small shifts that you could start today that inevitably build up, right? If you think about, Tony tells the story of a golf swing, right? And he hires an instructor, and the golf swing is 100 yards off. Every time he hits the ball, it goes way over here. And the guy said to Tony as an instructor, he's like, yeah, you're about a millimeter or 2 off. That's where 2 millimeters came from with Tony Robbins. The guy said, you're about a millimeter or 2 off. Tony goes, what do you mean I'm a millimeter off or 2 millimeters? The ball's 100 yards away from where I tried to hit it. I was trying to hit it at the hole. It ended up 2 holes away on the right. I had to yell 4. It's not 2 millimeters or a millimeter. It's 100 yards. He's like, no, it's not. He goes, you've just been practicing that when you come through and the ball's here, when your club head comes down, it's about a millimeter or 2 shaped this way because a millimeter or 2 here on a little bit of an angle, it's only off a millimeter here, but by the time it goes out 300 yards, it's 100 yards to the right. You're only off a millimeter. So we're going to work on the millimeter. And it's that same concept. We feel like we're 100 yards or 100 miles off when sometimes it's these subtle little shifts we just got to identify and work on them every day with just the effort and energy it needs to make those subtle shifts. But don't look at it as we got to be completely different humans tomorrow or the next day, or else it's not going to be the same and the course has got to be built and I got to be selling tomorrow. It's like one step at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I always say, I hope nobody's eating elephants, but that's Kaizen. And we have to adapt that same concept, right? We have to adapt that millimeter shift. Because if we can change the millimeter here, by the time we get out a month and a year, we're in a completely different spot. We won't even recognize ourselves. The other thing I want to share, and I'll go a little deeper on this, is whenever you feel hesitant about doing something, or it's not working, or you feel like your mindset is bringing you back to old habits, or you forget, I want you to think about 2 things that you need to be successful. This isn't one of the 7. This is just something that I feel in my heart that I want to share with you. There's always 2 answers to one question. And I call it the upstream and the downstream. There's always 2 answers, right? I had an amazing woman I had the opportunity to chat with. She was part of our KBB family and going to teach people what she went through, skills in business, way qualified. You met her, she had that it factor. She was just a badass. She was just an amazing woman. She wanted to do it. And she wanted to get her sales page to have a video on it that converted, that got people to raise their hand and took her product. But she never really got her video up because she said, I just can't shoot videos. I'm not that good at it. This is never going to work for me, even though she had an amazing product. She had everything she needed. She's like, how do I shoot better videos? I want to give you this example of upstream and downstream, and this may change the way you look at problems for the rest of your life. Because if you and I were ever together, or if you're at one of our live events that we end up doing the worlds together, and somebody else asks me a question on stage, or even in a Zoom like this, if you ever watch me stop for a moment and go like this, you know what I'm thinking? Upstream and downstream, there's two answers. So she gets on, and her question is, I could do better if I could get a video that converts, but I suck at video and it's just not working. My page isn't working. And I listened, and I could feel there was an upstream issue, because the downstream issue, I could teach the tactical the strategy and tactics. I could say, let me break down your video, hun. It's hook, story, close. You're not talking to a huge audience. You're talking to one person. Let's live inside their mind. Let's decide what they're afraid of, what they desire, what they fear, what their goals are. Let's write a paragraph to this person. Let's decide who that is, and then just have a conversation with the camera. Hey, this is Diane, and I know blah, 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 blah. Here's the story. I've been where you are. I've been there, but I found these 7 things. The story, the compelling, the close. I'd love to be able to serve you. I said, I know I could do that, and I could tell the way I'm talking to you. I said to her, you're already smart. You already know that. There's something else. She goes, no, it's just I can't do it. Do you know, after spending 20 minutes with her, I put everything on pause because I could just tell. I could just tell. When we went upstream, you know why she didn't shoot videos? You know why her page wasn't working? Had nothing to do. If I just left it on the first one, it would have been like, Dean and Tony's course kind of sucks. Didn't teach you how to do videos, right? That's literally what you would think. It sucks. Do you know why she didn't? Fear? Close. Her husband thought what she was doing was silly, and he didn't believe in it. And she was embarrassed for him to go online and see a video that she shot. How do you compete with that? I can't. I could teach her every strategy. I see Michelle Thompson, you're shaking your head. There is nothing I could do downstream. Give her the greatest tool, hook, story, close, film it for her, script it, put her in my studio. I can do everything. If she's in the back of her head going, oh my God, my husband's going to see this and I'm going to look stupid. Hi, can't do it, right? We went upstream and we talked for 15 more minutes about how to get her husband on board and how to he believed in her, and he was a good man. He just didn't get it. He was too busy. And we talked about a strategy. She went on to get him on board. They actually started doing the business together. Now, I share that because I want you to think about that in your life as you move forward. When something's not working, you're going to think downstream usually. The site's not working. Mastermind.com. I think it might be too technical for me. I'm over 30, I'm over 50, I'm over 70. Anything you can think of, you'll come up with shit, and usually it's not that. You go upstream and you find out, I failed before in the past, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want my friends to think I'm silly. Who would really listen to me? I don't feel that I'm not secure of a person. Maybe my confidence isn't high. Has nothing to do with the site or the training. It's the upstream stuff. Anyway, that wasn't on the list. That should have been shift number 4. So let's call that bonus shift. Shift number 4, now that you just got that bonus one, is realize that money isn't evil. I don't know what it is, but I think in the last 3 months, maybe 6 months, with all the craziness that's going on in the world, we've just gotten a lot of that. We've gotten, and the truth is, I've gotten a lot more of it from women than men in my DMs of people saying, I'm dying to be successful, Dean, but man, is it okay that I want to make more money for my family? Is it okay that I want to be successful? I feel like I'm being, am I being greedy by wanting to be successful? I mean, what a sad evolution that has come to where you would even feel that for a moment. And I see so many heads shaking up and down right now. And I just wanted, I thought it would be really great to address it. I'd love for you to think about this. Imagine if money was on one couch and you were on another couch and you were at therapy. Imagine this poor therapist, because you're going, I don't want money. I don't want him or her. It's evil. I don't want it. And the therapist says, what do you want? Well, I want more time with my family. I want to be able to do that travel. I want to pay off these bills that have been burdening my husband. He's working so hard to pay off these bills. Or my wife's in this terrible job. I want her out of the job. My parents, they don't really have a retirement. I'd like to give them a little money. I'd like to make sure my kids are okay. The therapist's like, wait a minute. You just said that money sitting over on the other couch is evil and bad and you don't want it. But everything that you just said that you'd like to do incorporates having more money. Okay, I don't know how to fix this, right? The therapist would be like, you're insane. You're saying it's like a relationship. I hate him. He's a jerk. He's no good. He's evil. So what would you like? I'd love to be in love with him and have more of it and have abundance. And I'd like to give more of him to charity. And I'd like to, okay, you're insane, right? We would say that if it was a person. But we end up having that same relationship with money. It's this push-pull, push-pull. Somebody said something to me once, and I'll never forget it. When someone says money can't buy you happiness, he said, that means you just haven't given enough away yet. And that changed my life. On Tony's 60th birthday, his wife had a party for him, and he didn't want a party just as a party. He made it a celebration and a fundraiser to raise money for Operation Underground Railroad, to help free children from slavery. And I knew it was passionate to Tony, but I didn't know the depth of it until his birthday party. Went to his birthday party. The whole thing was dedicated to that. The creator and founder of Operation Underground Railroad to go rescue these children was there, told the story, played a video. My heart was filled. I had tears coming out of my eyes. And before I left, I donated $500,000 of my money. I think I was the third largest donor of the day. Mark Benioff, who owns Salesforce, which is like a $30 billion a year company, donated a little more than me. And he probably should have, because he's worth way more than me. We're not in the same world. But it was really awesome. And my wife and I went up in the room that night. We stayed in a hotel in California. And we were ecstatic. We were sad about what was happening with Operation Underground Railroad, but we were so grateful to God, the universe, that we were able to cut a check for $500,000. And we know that like every $1,500 rescues a child. And we're doing the math. And you know what I did a month later? We had a good month in business. I donated another $100,000. So in 2020, the roughest year ever, even for all of us, because shifts, when you had a shift from in-person to, we lost money and shifts made, I gave away more cash than I had ever done in my entire life. We also fed 7 million people through Feeding America. We're probably heading towards 9 million people now. And we also built a school in Africa, because you build a school in a town and it could be there for 100 years, giving these young men and these young women the ability to gain education, right? We did all of that in 2020. If someone says that doesn't buy you happiness, then you haven't given enough away yet. If you make more money, it doesn't take money away from someone else. You are not robbing it. I'm going to tell you one more thing. Richard Branson said this to me. I was blessed to meet him because, he saw my Instagram and he's like, man, that Dean guy's cool. I should call him. No, that's not how it happened at all. A friend of mine and I raised $1 million for his charity because we found out his charity went to great causes. And he personally paid all the bills on the charity. So if you gave him $1 million, $1 million went to the people in need. So we raised the money. His way of thank you was to give us a week on his private island, Necker Island. So cool. This is a decade or more ago, probably a decade ago. And us and some entrepreneurs who helped raise the money, we went there just by chance. I'm an early riser. He was an early riser. We met one morning. He's like, hey, you want to go for a sail? I'm like, absolutely. So I went for a sail with Richard Branson, billionaire, and my eyes were this big, and I couldn't wait to ask him questions. And one of the things I asked him about was giving back and making money. And he told me how he felt. And he said, if you were put on this earth with the ability to gain capabilities and make money, then I feel like you should go all in on utilizing that. Because he told me a story, and this is a decade ago, so I'm maybe paraphrasing. He's like, listen, a homeless shelter. Thank God for amazing people that go there and donate their time. And if you can find the time, do it. Everybody contributes in their own way. He said, but if you also have the ability to earn in a way by learning capabilities and going faster, and you could go to that same homeless shelter. Maybe you help serve meals that day, but on the way in, you hand the owner or the person who runs it a check for $100,000. He's like, they need that too. He said, if you have the ability to make it, just do something great with it, because that's how I think that and more abundance comes. And my mind has completely shifted about money. Money is the byproduct of bringing value to other people. If you're not bringing value to other people, then stop, shift, do something different. But if you bring value to others, especially if you're in the knowledge industry, you get to help people go faster and quicker. Then you get to do things like retire your parents, make sure your family's okay, Cut checks to solve problems for family members. Donate to your church. Help Underground Railroad. Feed people who need it. I don't know what it is, but you do. Money's not evil, especially when it's earned ethically. Shift the way you feel about that. Because if you have one bit of disdain towards money, it's going to be like that therapist sitting in the middle going, you're never going to be together, guys. You're never gonna fix this relationship because you hate them and love them. Every time it gets close, you push it away. Ever been in a relationship like that in high school when you didn't know what the hell was going on? Every time it's close, you push it away. You're not sure if you want it, you don't. Did it ever work out? How's it going to work out with money if you have that same yo-yo relationship? Attract money. Do what it takes to make it. And then do things amazing with it and help others. We got that? All right. Number 5. This is going to be a long one, really difficult. No, not really. I'm kidding. Stop overthinking. Number 5. Stop overthinking. Tony always says, and I'm referencing him a lot today, but Tony always says complexity is the enemy of execution. Complexity is the enemy of execution. And you got to remember something. We all learn differently, right? I love using the analogy of my sister and I because we're blood. She's my full sister, but we couldn't be any more different. And if you think about when you move forward in life, some of you are the tortoise and some of you are the hare. Some of you are the turtle and the rabbit, right? I'm the rabbit. My sister's the turtle. My sister moves forward very methodically. My sister wants to dot every I, cross every T. She wants to see what could go wrong, what could go right. She wants to research it. She wants to understand other people that have been there. Why have other people succeeded? Why have other people failed? Oh my God, I got to read every piece of this. If there's a document, I better read the entire document, right? I have to be methodical. And my sister, it doesn't make her bad, but that's me. She thinks I'm the rabbit. I'm like, this seems like a good idea. Let's do it. Okay, I'm in. And I fail miserably fast. But I will fail 3 times and get up and keep going and make it work. I can't slow down my pace. To me, how my sister learns and how she does business, I literally would rather have my wisdom teeth pulled out. Literally. I had them all pulled out. It sucked. Did you ever have all 4 wisdom teeth pulled out at once and you got those big holes in your face? It sucks. I see Jenny and you too. I see you guys. It sucks. I would go through that again rather than overanalyzing everything to death. For me, by the time my sister overanalyzes stuff, I've already figured it out, failed, doesn't work, I'm on to the next thing. My sister would probably say she'd rather have her wisdom teeth pulled out than be like her psychotic, crazy brother who goes so fast, who fails miserably, and is okay with that. Like, just saying, both of us are successful. I'm a little more successful, but she's very successful. Right? I'm just saying it as a joke. I really wish she was here to see that. Because if you knew my sister, I'd be afraid the next time I saw her, she'd beat me up. In a good way. She's always going to be my big sister. She's 4 years older than me. And kidding aside, she's insanely successful because she has 2 children, and they're the most amazing children in the world. One of them is Tanner, who works for me, helps me run my entire company. Her other son, Hunter, is incredible. She's been married to her husband, Rob, for 30 years, and they are madly in love. They have a successful business. They take care of my mom. She's one of the most successful women I know. I like busting her chops, but she's incredible on every level. Has her own company, doing incredible. But we're completely different. She's the tortoise, I'm the hare. We're both successful. You just got to figure out which one you are and do whatever it takes to fill that void to continue moving forward. Because if you're an overthinker, you might go, when I figure out exactly how to do that headline on mastermind.com, I will launch then. You may never figure out exactly how to do it until you have 5 iterations up there that don't work until you get to the one that does work. My sister might wait on something like that and go, no, let me retweak it. Let me change the color. Let me add 1 extra module. Maybe it's 4 modules. No, maybe I should go live. No, live's kind of scary. Let me read about live. Let me go look at people on YouTube that do live. Let me go back and read the course. No, let me go design my logo again. Like, you got to watch going over-analyzing and overworking when sometimes you just got to get out in the field and play, and you might fumble the ball, and you might look silly, and you might fail, but guess what? You learn on the fly. You jump out of the plane and you grow wings on the way down. So my only point is, if you're the tortoise or the hare, that's okay. Both of them, you should find a way as the tortoise, if you're going fast, find a way to know enough where you fail less. Right? As the hare, I should say. As the tortoise, as the turtle. Don't overanalyze to where it never happens, because sometimes you'll overanalyze for a couple of years until finally you just don't do it. And the opportunity passes you by. Those of you that overanalyze, you know exactly what I'm saying. Who's overanalyzed an opportunity so much that you missed it, if you're really honest? Right? Stop overthinking, especially those that have gotten the guidance from a course or something Tony and I created or something that you've got from someplace else. If you're learning from someone who's already been there, remember, you're starting off on third base. Right? You're not going from ground zero, right? So stop overthinking. That is number 5. Number 6, don't settle for good enough. Don't settle for good enough. You guys, I appreciate all your honest answers here, guys. You're amazing. Don't settle for good enough is really another one of those tools for me that I think we should all use. You've heard me say it before. I'm not going to say anything brand new right now with this one, but this is one I think about all the time. Is I know for a fact that if I was at the end of my life and I was 100 years old and sitting in the hospital and people that knew me were around my hospital bed and they didn't know I could hear them and they were having a conversation and they were saying, you know, Dean lived a good life. He was a good dude. He had a good relationship. He was a good parent. He had a good life. I would freak out. Anybody else freak out if someone described everything about you as good or okay? Imagine if I was, he was an okay dude. He had okay kids, had an okay relationship with them. I would freak out. I want people to be standing around my bed and say, this crazy bastard, oh my God. That guy, everything he thought about doing, he was relentless. He just went after it. He never stopped. He was obsessive as a dad. Oh, my God, he romanced his wife. My wife right now literally has 2 full boxes of love letters that I've sent her or written for her. Most of them I do on checks. Whenever we go to a restaurant, I take it and I write her a letter and then I hand it to her later. She saved, I didn't realize she saved every single one of them. She's making books of them right now, right? I want people like, this crazy bastard wrote his wife 2,200 love letters. He took his kids to practice. He picked them up from school every day. But at the same time, started 14 companies, did the biggest launches in history, wrote books even though he was kind of dumb, had dyslexia. This crazy bastard just didn't take no. He had an amazing life. He had an outstanding life. If I don't hear that, I hear a bunch of people saying, oh, you know, Brittany had a good life. You know, she was good when she did her business. Tanya, you know, I think she was happy. Yeah, don't you think? I just don't want that, right? So when I think of a tool in my toolbox, that's the little nudge that pushes me to play full out, to take uncomfortable action, to be courageous even though I'm scared, to move forward even though I don't have all the answers. Because I don't want the end of my life to look like that. You know, I've shared this a lot. I'm going to share it again. I don't think we all have our beliefs. I believe in God. I hope I get the chance to meet him someday, not too soon, not for a long time. But when I do, and I don't think God is this cruel, but could you imagine if you met God and he said, all right, so tell me about it. We got 5 minutes. Tell me about your life. You know, I was going to go, I had a good life, God. Thank you so much. I had a good life. What about your relationship? That was good. And you used the word good. I don't want to overemphasize that. But then you got to maybe, let's say, your business. Saying, you know, I was going to do my own thing when I was 37, 42, 55, 63. You know, I was going to. But, you know, I don't think my husband totally believed in me. And it was kind of that weird time. We had that funky president. And then this happened. And, you know, so, and then I was juggling a couple of kids, right? I mean, I know you, and I'm not diminishing that. Believe me, I know what it's like to handle kids. But, you know, I had that, and I was going to wait for the kids to get older, but then I was like, so, you know, I never really did that. And I was kind of, and I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to look stupid in front of my friends, right? Could you imagine God just being like, ugh, another one. Okay, good to have you here. I don't think God would do this, but imagine this, and I heard this once. I didn't make this up. Could you imagine if God pulled out his iPhone, because of course God would absolutely have an iPhone, probably not an Android, right? It would be an iPhone for sure. If God pulled out his iPhone and showed you a video of who you could have been. Think about that one. What if God showed you a video of who you could have been? Again, I don't think he'd be that cruel, but if he did, could you imagine being like, oh my God, please, can I go back, please? I don't give a shit what my friends thought. I don't care. They were stupid gossipers anyway. Why did I care that they thought I'd be silly? I don't care what my parents thought. I love my parents, but they would have been more proud of me going after it. Please let me go back. I could see you begging to go back, but here's the thing. We don't have to go back. We are right here, right now. Right here, right now. You get to decide what that end is going to be to you right here, right now. And what's that going to be? This is the crazy stuff I do to myself. Yes, because we have to work a little harder, a little stronger. And is it worth it? Yes, it's absolutely worth it. 1,000 times over. I wouldn't choose any other path. And I probably have failed as much, if not more, than everybody in here. Okay, that was number 6. Don't settle for good enough. No one wants to be good. And then number 7, and you guys are already doing this. Become or stay a part of something bigger than yourself. Whether that's a relationship with God, whether you're more spiritual, you're aligned internally, being in a group like the Inner Circle, being in a group like KBB, being in a Facebook group, we all need to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. We all need to be locking arms with like-minded people wherever we can, because the fact of the matter is, you're probably the crazy ones in your life. Barbara, you're probably one of the crazy ones, right? You do alternative stuff. You're here. You're learning from a guy on a Zoom camera. James shaking your head. Brittany, Nicholas, and Linda, right? Ramona, you guys are doing something different than most of your friends. You might be a part of KBB or go to Tony's UPW or come to the World Summit or go to do the challenges that Tony and I do. To most people in your family, that's crazy. But not to the people in this group. Who in here feels when you're in a group like this, you could say anything and this group would support you? Can we give it up for everybody? Can we show in the chat, would we support all the dreams people have in this group? Would we support all the goals? Yes, we're the crazy dreamers. Brand us nuts because we dream for full potential. We dream for a higher level. But let me ask you something, and I've said this a million times. There's a lot of groups with a bunch of skeptics, a bunch of critics. They don't make statues of critics. Those people are forgotten. They die at the end of your life, and God's like, oh my God, you just didn't go after it. You were just ornery and grumpy and made fun of everybody. I'm glad you're here, but oh my God, right? There's so many of those groups. We need to stay a part of something bigger than ourselves with like-minded people who support us and don't let us get down on ourselves. And we're having a bad day, we can go to a group, we can go to a people, we can go to resources, we can go to knowledge that go, no, I'm meant for more, I'll be more. This is the woman God designed me to be, and no one's going to stop me. And if you need a little support, a group like this brings you up. That's why we do have Facebook groups. That's why we push you to stay socially connected. Because there's a lot of people out there trying to rob that from us, and they don't even know they are. They think they're protecting us. Protecting us from what? From living an outstanding life? Listen, I love spending time with you guys once a month in the Inner Circle. And if you guys know anything about me, you know that I share here in a different way than I share in anything else I do. I'm really raw. I'm really real. I hope to be real and raw everywhere, but this is like a family to me. And I love having you guys, and I love sharing. But I think sometimes people on the outside, not this group, might think that there's this special thing that Tony Robbins or myself or other successful people you see found this secret. Like, oh, we got it. I'm not going to share it with anyone. And it, like, you open it up, it's like, oh, and light comes out, and there's success. And it's not. It's all the little things we're talking about. Maris, I can see it when your hat goes up. I can see the smile, right? Like, it's all these little things that are added up, and when you add them up, one day the shift just happens. And all of a sudden, you can't stop the momentum. And then once you get it, you want to bring everybody with you. Why do you think I get so passionate every month? Listen, I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years. We've never raised the price. We've never changed it. We're going to do it probably forever because I know people need it. I love this family, but it also lights me up because when you discover something, listen, when you guys discover the most amazing restaurant in the world, do you share it with people you care about? How about a movie that makes you laugh so hard you can't even breathe? Do you share it with people you care about? How about a book? Do you share it with people you care about? Why? Because you want them to experience it, right? I know what it's like to be scared to death, broke, wanting more, afraid, envious, but I also know what it's like to take uncomfortable action and be on the other side. And I want to share it with everyone. And the best way to get there is to build the path, to show you where the crumb trail is. And that's what we do every month on Inner Circle. Guys, I'm so honored to be able to serve and give to you guys in a big way. And this also, we're going to keep giving back. So right now, write this down, put it in the chat. OwnItChallenge.com. I know some of you are already registered, but as soon as you're done right now, whenever, if you watch this live or you watch the replay, go to OwnItChallenge.com and register for the training we're doing on May 11th. It's not kind of free. It's totally free. When you see what we're doing, if you're a part of KBB, you need to be in there. If you're not a part of KBB, you need to be in there. You're in mastermind.com, you need to be in there. You're part of Accelerated Success Formula, you need to be there. What we're going to do over 5 days, Tony and myself, and we asked 14 of our friends. Wait till you see who else is speaking. It's going to blow your mind. I would bet to say you know all 14 of them. Some of the most powerful women and men in an industry where they pivoted and shift and they share what they know, they impact others. None of us started in this industry. Yeah, you could go to Own Your Future Challenge or OwnItChallenge.com. Both of them go to the same spot. And here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Go look at all the other speakers. It's going to blow your mind on who you see. All of them, and here's the cool part. They're all coming for free. I asked them and pretty much said yes, and then if I have any resistance, I just have Tony send a voice memo, and all of a sudden I get an absolute yes. So it's really cool. I get a yes no matter what. But I want you to know they're all coming for free because these are unprecedented times. And we just told them it's time we lock arms with everybody and deliver capabilities in these unprecedented times. This is how we change the world. How do we change the global economy? We change the economy in our homes. So what we're doing over 5 days is showing you, pulling back the curtain, all of us, how to go to the next level in the knowledge industry, the information industry, the digital economy. How do you get online? How do you launch and do it in today's world? Different than it was a year ago. I mean it. If you're in KBB, you must go. It's brand new information and 14 new speakers that you probably never heard of in this light. So I'm going to ask you to do 4 things. 1, see how we're doing it and model it. When you log in, so you go to OwnItChallenge.com. When you log in, then first look at all the incredible speakers. This one. Secondly, when you log in, look at the next video where Tony and I offer a VIP upgrade. If it's for you, great. You don't need to because it's free. The VIP upgrade is off the charts this year. It is ridiculous. We're doing a networking party, a virtual networking party. Tony's going to be here with me. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff. You get to keep the training for life, all that. But just watch it either way. Even if you don't get enrolled, watch it because you're going to want to model it in your own business. Then watch the confirmation video. And then here's what I'm going to ask you to do. As soon as you get there, go get in the Own Your Future Facebook group. Who's already in the Own Your Future Facebook group? Raise your hand. Awesome. Do me a favor. Those of you that are in it, those of you that go in it, let's light it up. This is our family. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of new people coming. Let's show them how to party. Let's show them how to be virtually connected. Let's show them how to light it up, not play small, not stand back. Let's show them how to, let's light that group up because the world needs us now more than ever. Can I get a commitment on that we'll light that group up? Okay, so a couple more things. One is put it in your calendar now. It's May 11th. It starts at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go live every day for about 2. We started an hour. With Tony and all the guests, I'm guessing it's going to be about 2.5 hours a day, if I'm just realistic. We have an absolute agenda of what we want to accomplish. When you see the stuff Tony and I have been working on, it's going to blow your mind. So much new stuff, new content. Everybody needs it. So put it in your calendar. Number 2, right now, here's what I'd say, is take that link, OwnItChallenge.com. Go on your phone and text it to people in your family who need it. I know some people in your family are going to think you're crazy, and they think, oh, that's for my cousin Eric, that's for Stevie, that's for Colette. I'm not into that stuff they're into, right? Bullshit. They don't know they're into it because they don't need it. And this is one of those rare opportunities. The world's about to open back up. Tony will be on the road 250 days a year. All these speakers will be on the road. This is truly one of those events that I don't think I'll ever be able to pull off again. To get everybody to come for free. These are people that get anywhere from 50 to 300 grand to appear on stage. True story. When you see them, you'll know who I'm talking about. 50 to 300 grand. This could cost millions to put a group together like this. Tony and I pulled it off with no money. So it's not going to happen again. So take ownitchallenge.com and text it to people you know right now and say, just go get in the challenge. It's free. And we want to get to 1 million people. There's no way we're going to get to 1 million people without your help. So send it to, and then if you can, if you have someone in your life that's close to you, make them your accountability partner. So send it to the people you know that need it, and then find one person that could be your accountability partner. We do everything better in life when we have someone that's like keeping us. You go to the gym with a buddy, you do better. So see if you can get an accountability partner. And then the last thing I would say is pretend you're paying $5,000 to attend. And that's, I should say that about here. Every month when you come here, you should pretend you're paying $1,000 a month. Like legit. If you convinced your brain you were paying $1,000 a month for Inner Circle, you'd never miss one. You'd take every bit of notes, and everybody here, you're playing full out. But the more we pay attention. And what I don't want your friends or people around you to think is, oh, that challenge Tony and all them are doing, it's free. Maybe I'll attend. Maybe I won't. Like, convince yourself that you paid hard-earned cash for it, and show up with pen in hand, with journal in hand, and rock the house, because it is really going to be a special event. All right, guys, that's the end of our monthly Inner Circle. I appreciate you so much. Remember all 7. So many of you were so sweet to write them all down. You know you'll have the replay for this that you could watch over and over again. If you get off track, if you forget these 7 things, pop this video in while you're taking a walk. Pop it in while you're on the treadmill. Listen to the audio. Go through it once every 2 weeks if you have to, but anchor these 7 things in. We even had an 8th bonus one, and together let's make a difference in this world. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being a part of this family. Thanks for all you do. Make sure 100% of you, not most of you, 100% of you, I promise, this 5-day challenge will change your life. No exaggeration. No matter where you are, no matter what phase you're in, there's something that'll be there that'll shift you. Appreciate you all. See you on the challenge. Bye, guys.